everyone! So today we're going to be talking about some common mistakes that I've noticed in new Survivor players, as well as just Survivor players in general. Enjoy!
Lack of confidence.
One of the first thing I notice about new players especially is how they lack confidence. They play really scared and kind of like chickens, and it wastes so much valuable time that could be used to do gens. The tier radius is there to tell you how far the killer is, and especially with the new updated HUD, you can see if someone's currently getting chased. So don't be scared, it's just a game.
Selfish.
Dead by Daylight is a team-based game. You're a team trying to make it out. Help your teammates, don't be selfish. Be the player people who make TikToks about being the savior of solo queue. Especially if you aren't on death hook or you're full health, go for the save, take a hit. A really simple example is taking a hit while exiting the game. If you see that someone's hurt and they're getting chased by the killer, try to get between the player and the killer to take a hit if you're full health and can afford to take a hit so that everyone makes it out.
Exit gates.
Unless everyone is at the gate and ready to leave, you should always 99% the exit gate. That means you do it until almost the end of the bar. This makes it so the endgame collapse timer doesn't start and does not put pressure on the team. Especially if someone is on a hook or in chase, you don't want to add a timer pushing you in the booty.
Wasting pallets.
You don't need to throw down pallets the second you cross them. Use the distance you have between you and the killer to create a loop and waste the killer's time. Don't waste all the pallets, especially God pallets. God pallets are pallets that the killer absolutely has to break in order to reach you easily. The most common one is the shack pallet, or for example, the 2 pallets near the basement in Gideon Packing Meat Plant, the Saw map. Don't use them in the beginning, let them be there for a life-saving play when someone is on death hook, for example.
Not looking behind.
As a survivor, you have the chance to have a 360 view around you that the killer doesn't. Use that to your advantage. Looking back every couple of seconds during a chase can help you gauge the killer's distance as well as his intentions. It can help you plan your chase and also help you know where to position yourself. It will allow you to gauge when a pallet is a must-use or just a waste, for example. In most cases, the killer has a red cone that shows you what side they're looking at. This is extremely useful during chases because most loops are just about positioning yourself on the opposite side of the killer.
No loadout.
With so many add-ons and offerings available, there's no reason to go into a trial without an item and an offering. For items, even if you don't have or want to use a purple item or any particular item, just bring a basic item. A brown medkit, for example, is always great, especially in this anti-healing meta going on at the moment. For offerings, they're always useful. You can give yourself bonus blood points, play on a map you like, or put a hatch offering, and it won't be a waste. Hatch is super useful if needed, almost like an extra perk. There's just no reason to not put any offerings on. I would also recommend putting a loadout of everything on every character you get. That way, if you enter a trial with a survivor that you were leveling and forgot to switch, you don't go in naked and afraid.
Read full descriptions.
So many useful informations are not known by survivors simply because they don't read the full descriptions of perks and characters. For example, Lightborn, the hillbilly perk that counters flashlights and flashbangs, is also an aura reading perk. As written in the description, the auras of survivors attempting to blind you by any means are revealed to you for up to 10 seconds. A character, for example, is with Pyramid Head. This trail of torment will get you wired and make you scream if you run or walk in it, but you can fully crush through it without getting affected.
Sales.
BD always has a sale every couple of months where you can get the DLCs for around 50% off. I think taking advantage of them is really worth it considering how most DLCs you get a new killer and new survivor for quite cheap.
Timing of saves.
Most survivors don't know the correct timing for flashlight saves and pallet saves. For flashlights, I recommend using the Nicki Minaj lyric that goes, "I never fucked Wayne, I never fucked Drake," and then you flashlight. Another tip for aiming with the flashlight is that whenever the killer is going to pick up the survivor, in most cases, the feet are going to be on the same side as their face. So you want to position yourself towards the survivor's feet that's getting picked up, and you'll get the flashlight save if you're on the same side. For pallet save, the timing is a bit more tricky because you need the full pickup animation to have pass to then throw down the pallet to stun, or same thing with head on. So you want the second the killer can start moving again is when you want to hit that stun.
Productivity.
You escape a trial by repairing 5 generators. It really is that simple. Cleansing null totems and opening chests really is a waste of time in my opinion. Unless you have no one to heal you and want to find a medkit, chests aren't worth the time. For totems, unless you have a map or a perk to find all of the totems to maybe try and prevent NOED, it's still not worth it. Even if you can find all of them, the time you lost to maybe prevent NOED really isn't worth it. Hex totems are the only totems that are worth your time. Put yourself in the shoes of the person in chase. Imagine running the killer for quite some time to realize no gens have popped. If you aren't healing, getting chased, getting the on hook, cleansing a hex, or doing a gen, you're wasting precious time.
3 gens.
Every trial starts with 8 gens spread out through the map. You don't want to do them all next to each other, as that will leave the last 3 available generators too close to each other, making the patrolling of the gens for the killer really short and easy. It will make the game go on forever, especially when you know you're up against a killer that is made for 3 gen situations like Chris Jenner and the Knight. You want to try and spread them the most farther apart from each other. In this example of the RPD map, I'm showing you how if you were to do all the gens in the same area, it makes it way too easy for the killer to defend all 3 of them by just going back and forth between them.
Exhaustion perk.
Exhaustion perks are extremely useful to either keep a chase going or to escape it. In my opinion, everyone should have at least 1 exhaustion perk up their sleeve, whether it be sprint burst, lithe, smash head, etc.
After getting hit.
After getting hit, you get a speed boost that is extremely wasted if you take the speed boost to fold or use a pallet. You're losing momentum and speed and time to go to another tile on the map to continue the chase or escape it.
Playing killer.
The very last mistake that I notice is that a lot of survivors do not play any killer games at all. And I highly recommend that everyone plays killer games. Playing as a killer allows you to see how the killers see and hear everything. It also helps you learn how to properly loop or find good looping spot, because you'll see as the killer how you get looped and you'll be able to learn from them. So in my opinion, one of the best ways to learn and get better at the game is simply by playing killer and observing how people are outplaying you and just how they're playing in general. So thank you for joining me for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and comment down below some common mistakes that you've also noticed that most Survivor players tend to do. I'll see you all next time. Ciao! Give it to me like